Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne O Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10 Chapter 8 Text 31 Translation and Commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Evam Dharshtyani Ushati Kurute Mehana Adini. Is it Adini? I can't see clearly. Vastau Steya Upayahi Virichita Kritihi Su Pratikaha Yatha Aste Itam Stribhihi Sa Bhaya Nayana Shri Mukha Alokini Bhihi Vyakhyata Artha Prahasita Mukhi Na Hi Upalabdhum Aichat. Yeah, then show the whole verse. Evam darshyanyushati kurute mehanadini vastau. Steyo payar virichito kriti supratiko yataste. Itam Sri Bhi Sabhaya Nayana Sri Mukhalokini Bhir Vyakyathartha Prahasita Mukina Hyupalabdhum Aichat. Evang dharshtyanyushati kurute mehanadini vasto. Steyo payar virachita kritisu pratiko yataste. Itam Sri Bhi Sabhaya Nayana Sri Mukhalo Kini Bhir Vyakyathartha Prahasita Mukhi Nahyupalabdhum Aichat. Someone else? Evam dharsyanyushati kurute mehanadini vastau. Steyo payar virachita kriti supratiko yathaste. Itang Sri Bhi Sabhayanayana Sri Mukhalokini Bhir. Vyakyatartha prasita mukhina hyupalabdhum aichat. Evam dharsyanyushati kurute mehanadi nivastau. Steyo payar virachita kriti supratiko yathaste. Itang Sri Bhi Sabhayanayana Sri Mukhalo Kinibhir. Vyakyatartha prasita mukhina hyupalabdhum aichat. Devis, Evam dharsyanyushati kurute mehanadi nivasto. Steyo payar virachita kriti supratiko yathaste. Itang Sri Bhi Sabhayanayana Sri Mukhalokini Bhir. Vyakyatartha prasita mukhina hyupalabdhum aichat. Evam, in this way, dharshyani, naughty activities, ushati, in a neat and clean place, kurute, sometimes does, mehana, adini, passing stool and urine, vastau, in our houses, steya, upayahi, and by inventing different devices to steal butter and milk. Virachita kritihi is very expert. Su pratikaha is now sitting down here like a very good, well-behaved child. Yatha aste, while staying here. Itham, all these topics of conversation. Sri bhihi, by the gopis. Sa bhaya nayana, just now sitting there with fearful eyes. Sri mukha, such a beautiful face. Alokini bhihi, by the gopis who were enjoying the pleasure of seeing. Vyakyata, artha, and while complaining against him before Mother Yashoda. Prahasita mukhi, they were smiling and enjoying. not. He, indeed, upalabdhum, to chastise and threaten. Rather, she enjoyed how Krishna was sitting there as a very good boy. Aichat, she desired. When Krishna is caught in his naughty activities, the master of the house will say to him, "Oh, you are a thief," and artificially express anger at Krishna. Krishna will then reply, "I am not a thief, you are a thief." Sometimes being angry, Krishna passes urine and stool in a neat, clean place in our houses. But now, our dear friend, Yashoda, this expert thief is sitting before you like a very good boy. Sometimes all the gopis would look at Krishna sitting there, his eyes fearful, so that his mother would not chastise him. And when they saw Krishna's beautiful face, instead of chastising him, they would simply look upon his face and enjoy transcendental bliss. Mother Yashoda would mildly smile at all this fun, and she would not want to chastise her blessed transcendental child. Purport: Krishna's business in the neighborhood was not only to steal, but sometimes to pass stool and urine in a neat, clean house. When caught by the master of the house, Krishna would chastise him, saying, "You are a thief." Aside from being a thief in his childhood affairs, Krishna acted as an expert thief when he was young by attracting young girls and enjoying them in the rasa dance. This is Krishna's business. He is also violent as the killer of many demons. Although mundane people like non-violence and other such brilliant qualities, God, the absolute truth, being always the same, is good in any activities, even so-called immoral activities, like stealing, killing, and violence. Krishna is always pure, and he is always the supreme absolute truth. Krishna may do anything supposedly abominable in material life, yet still he is attractive. Therefore, his name is Krishna, meaning all attractive. This is the platform on which transcendental loving affairs and service are exchanged. Because of the features of Krishna's face, the mothers were so attracted that they could not chastise him. Instead of chastising him, they smiled and enjoyed hearing of Krishna's activities. Thus the gopis remained satisfied and Krishna enjoyed their happiness. Therefore, another name of Krishna is Gopijanna Vallabha, because he invented such activities to please the gopis. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Shreshtam Manum Api Shakchiputram Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagajam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavati Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Andeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Guru Vaishnav Bhagavan Tine Smarane Hoy Bigna Vinashan Anayashe Hoy Nijavanchita Puran. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. I hope the boys in the Gurukul are studying all the Shastras, all the Shad Darshans, understanding Sankhya, Yoga, especially Vedanta. And when you studied all the Vedantas, all the commentaries, and then we'll come to the summit, some little boy in some village is passing stool and urine in someone's house. No wonder the Mayavadis think we're crazy. Raso Vaisaha. There's no rasa in neti neti. It's there in the Shastra, neti neti, isn't it? It's right there in the Upanishads. We should be good. We should teach the children to be good. We don't bring them to Gurukul to teach them how to become an expert thief. Krishna was an expert thief. He didn't have to be trained. Maybe it was something from his previous life. Vamana Dev, expert in cheating, expert in stealing. It's a sanskar from his previous life. Some people might explain it like this, but Srila Prabhupada says here in the Prabhupada, God is always good. So we should come here daily and hear the Shastra to become good people. We expect when we come in the company of sadhus, we'll learn how to be good people, not to do bad things like stealing, lying, cheating. Of course, when we come in the company of sadhus, we hear all about stealing, illicit sex, thieving, gambling, drinking. Right? That's stealing, we're seeing now. Gambling, Pandavas. Drinking and getting drunk, Balaram. Illicit sex. Oh, shouldn't even say that word here, the young boys. Well, that's all of Krishna's pastime. It's so hard to understand that Madhva, the great Vedanta Acharya, doesn't even touch it, doesn't even go near it. Cheating, we have Vamana Dev. Stealing, lying. Yeah, Krishna induces Yudhishthira to lie. He's a liar himself. That comes up in this very chapter. That he's eating dirt and then he tells his mother, I didn't, so he's lying. Because when he opens his mouth, she sees a lot of dirt. Not just a little dirt, but all the dirt in the universe. All the earth, water, fire, air, ether, it's right there within Krishna. If he's going to eat dirt, he's God after all, right? He just doesn't eat a little bit here and there, but he can eat the whole universe. I didn't know which verse I was supposed to speak on today, but out of my own curiosity, I prepared a talk on stealing, because that's an interesting subject. Everyone's had something stolen from them. Maybe the little boys haven't yet. Not yet. Everyone's had that experience. Has anyone not had the experience of having something stolen from them? Anyone not had the experience? It's happened to all of us. It's not nice. It's not a good feeling. I wonder how many could honestly put up their hand and say they've never stolen anything. I wonder. You have to train your children not to steal. There are no professional thieves. There might be. Sometimes they join a religious movement. Win the trust, like these thuggees they used to do in India before the British more or less killed them all. One caste, they used to pose as travelers and join a group of travelers, and the group of travelers would think, mostly merchants go from place to place. So the group of travelers think, well, the more of us, the better. So they go along with them for some time, and then on a signal, they kill all the other members by strangling and take whatever they have. That was they only did it at a certain time of year. The rest of the year, they're nice people. Some thieves, professional thieves, they're nice people. People think like that. In London, there were I think it were the Cray brothers, and they were thieves, gangsters. They actually killed people also. But the local people thought, yeah, they're nice. I guess you have a lot of them in Australia, right? Because it's, well, the reputation is there. Well, it was formed from all the criminals. Once in Dublin, I was selling books on the street. Dublin, capital of Ireland. You been there? Yeah. So usually you stop someone and you ask them, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? He says, I'm a thief. I said, what? You're a tooth? Thief. That's the Irish way of saying thief. They don't say. So if you ask someone, what are you doing? I'm a lawyer. Well, what kind of criminal lawyer? So I said, well, what kind of thief? He said, well, I do break-ins, burglaries, like this. And he didn't have any money. I guess someone had stolen it from him. Yeah, in India, it's whatever caste you're born in, that's what you do, right? This word, mehana, means stool. So in Bengali, what they call the hari or the bangi, they call mehara in Bengali, means the caste who clean up the stool. You know that? Does he have that same word? No, mehara means the ones who, and that's what they do. Just like you find in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srivas Thakur, all the unclean things were put out inside his house, wine and flesh, to try to show that he was worshipping Kali. And then it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he called a hari. That's the ones, he won't clean it up himself. A certain person has to do that. Nowadays they say, oh, this is very bad. They're fixed in their caste, but they have a fixed job, right? It's like the Brahmins here by caste, they can't become the garbage cleaners. But the garbage cleaners, they have a right still to be the garbage cleaners. So at least the garbage clean, because by caste. So they have a job. The Brahmins don't necessarily have a job. So the one caste is criminal caste, and if you're born in that caste, you worship Kali, and you do all nasty things, and you learn the tricks of the trade at a young age, how to, if you find a house, if you find the brick working is not done properly, how to tick, 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 make a hole, make a bigger hole, how to do it all quietly. Often they still, up to the present day, they use some mantras to put everyone in the house so fast asleep that they can come inside and do whatever they want, and the people just won't wake up till it's all gone. So they know, and they have to be ruthless, merciless, but then when they're at home, they're very nice, like this. There's even reference to the Steyo Shastra, the manual of how to steal, all the tricks of the trade. We don't teach that here. Oh, what other kinds of thieves are there? Pickpockets, Oxford Street, London, book distribution, 1970s. We'd find from every 50 meters or so, there's a bin, so we find it full of empty wallets. There's crowds of people, and the innocent Swedes and Norwegians come and put their wallets in their back jeans pocket. In Denmark, I was there, late 1979, early 1980, collecting for our buses, for preaching in Bangladesh. And you walk into the bank, there's no security, it's completely, they just have, it's like walking into an office, and they have desks with drawers. It's not like that now. Some religion of peace people came there. So it's not so safe, but it used to be, and they just come and get pickpocketed. Shoe thieves at temples, you know about that? Shoplifting. The way shops are organized in India is not so conducive for that. But now they have CCTV, so you can't do that so easily. But it used to be that some big rich people, they used to go shoplifting. That means to go in a store and stick some, just for the thrill of stealing and not getting caught, hoping they don't get caught. Forcibly stealing crops. One time, must have been early 1980s, I arrived in a village in Bangladesh where I'd visited several times before, and everyone was very disturbed because they'd cultivated all their crops, and then a gang had just come and cut it all and taken it away. And there's nothing they could do to fight back or any such thing. Stealing crops, stealing land by force in, I think that was Udupi. Udupi or Mangalore some years ago. One man told me he bought a plot of land, he was going to make his house, and then he had the surveyor come, and the person on the next plot was saying, no, my land comes to here. He wanted to claim something, so they had the surveyor come and they measured it out, and he went away. And in the meantime, the man built a wall on his land, so then they'd have to again call the surveyor, and by force, politicians. There was a new law made by Jayalalitha just to stop that, right? Because it was so rampant. Politicians taking land by force or giving people a pittance of money. Taxman, stealing. That's mentioned in Bhagavatam in the 12th canto, that the citizens will be so distressed. Karapiritai. They'll be so harassed by taxes that they'll go to the hills and forests, run away. What is that called? Svajanakya dasyu. Thieves who are called relatives. That's from the Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada, he gave the example that you work very hard to get money, then if someone stops you in the street with a knife and says, give me your money, you feel very bad. But then you go home and you just give it all to the wife. And so that's called swajan, your own people, akya, so-called, dasyu, means thief. Stealing your life, forced prostitution. It's all wrong. All these things are very wrong. You work hard to acquire some wealth, or you have it in your family, and suddenly it's gone, and in most cases never recovered. In London, thanks to the governmental or the local administrative policies, if you phone the police and say, I've had something stolen or my house been broken in, they won't even, if they answer the call, they won't come to see, because they're sorry, can't look after that. They don't have enough police. The policies of the local government. They can't, but anywhere, they can't keep up with it all. There are so many unsolved cases, not only thievery. Because thieves are also very expert. And you have to be very expert also in the big cities. People can't imagine in the villages. I was traveling in Ireland shortly before I joined this movement. I used to go in villages, and you just see, you walk in the village and the door is, our house is open. You go inside to see if there's no one in the house. Still in the villages in Tamil Nadu, it's still like that in some places, but it will change. What happened in Ireland is that some gangs started to take advantage of this, and they'd come from Dublin and just come in and clean out the villages and go back. But mostly there was nothing much to steal anyway. It was pretty poor at the time. So we're aiming to go to the spiritual world, right? Where there's no bad things going on. Oh, what about it stealing someone's country, invading someone's country? There'll always be thieves. Prabhupada also gave the example for the material world that when a government builds a new city, they build a prison because they know that it's going to be needed. So there'll always be thieves. Whatever you do, there'll always be thieves. They try to outwit you, and you have to outwit them, or you'll become a victim. But even then, they're so clever. They may anyway outwit. Their business is to be more clever than you. Another example that Srila Prabhupada gave is that the householder is praying to God, God, please protect me from the thief. And the thief is praying to God, God, please make our stealing expedition successful. And Prabhupada said, God is perplexed. To be a detective, you have to be sharp. I remember one of our devotees, he had a bit of a reputation for being not always on the right side of the law. And someone came to join the temple, and this devotee called the police and said, I think there's something fishy about him. And the police came and found him. He'd come to join the temple to try to avoid the police. And the devotee said, it takes a criminal to know one. It was something like that. So yeah, we're famous. Oh, Krishna's famous for being a thief also. He takes away the life. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. We can't stop. There's one kind of theft which we can't stop. You can put alarm systems, security force. There's so many arrangements. It's a huge business. I saw in India there's more than 1 million people engaged in security business. And what to speak of the armed forces. Otherwise, if we really wanted to follow Mahatma Gandhi, then India's name would be Pakistan. Because his idea, non-violence, just send a message to Islamabad that we've decided to honor Mahatma Gandhi by disbanding our army. And then the capital of India would soon shift either to Islamabad or Beijing. You need an army to keep them out. You could even get invaded maybe by Bangladesh if you. This is unthinkable. But if you decide not to fight, we're not going to fight. Okay, thanks a lot. We're taking it all. More examples. Prabhupada gave the example of Alexander the Great also, that when you conquer a territory, you have to administer it. We find in, just like in the West Bank of Palestine, which is in the news nowadays more than Ukraine. Ukraine is boring war. It's been going on a long time. So now we have a more interesting one going on in the West Bank. So that's administered by this Hamas, or however you pronounce it. Is that the right way to pronounce it? Do you know? You know all these political things. Same thing, there are many places in Brazil, Argentina, England, which are, they have their own parallel government going on. It's run, the police don't go, it's called no-go area. And they just run it, the gangs run it. And they administer justice, usually very harshly. So Alexander, he invaded, and then the thief was arrested, and he prescribed that he should be severely punished, and the thief said to him, well, you're a thief also. I'm just a small thief, but you're a big thief. You came and stole the whole land. And then Alexander let him go. Srila Prabhupada also gave the example of the king in Kashmir who administered justice. Any thief, their hand is chopped off. Harsh justice. Similar thing in Shariat law. It doesn't stop people stealing, but it really cuts it down. In Singapore, they have the law that anyone found with a certain amount of heroin, more than for immediate use, I don't know the exact amount, mandatory death sentence. If you're found guilty, the judge can only give death as a sentence. But still, people bring it in. There's money, good money. What people risk. That also Prabhupada said in one purport, that for money, people take such risks. Merchants go on ships. It's a big risk. You know, you may be pirated. The storm may sink the ship. Similarly, thieves, they risk their lives for money. So we'll go to the spiritual world where there's no greed. Mostly from greed people steal, or it may be just for living. You have to make a living some way or other. If there's that Srila Prabhupada also quoted, Kalidas, Daridra dosho guna rashi nashi. You may have so many good qualities, but poverty will destroy them all. Generally, that is the case. And I saw it was here in India also, and in Bangladesh in the 1970s and 1980s, very poor, a lot of stealing, but nowadays you go in Bangladesh, people want to give you money. It's because the economy has improved. So when they were desperate, they took them years to recover from that 1971 war in Bangladesh. People were very poor actually. So there's a lot of stealing, but it's changed now. And people like to give. There's more pleasure in giving than taking. Krishna is famous as a thief, as we learn from this highest level of Vedanta study that we're now doing, Srimad Bhagavatam. The highest level of Vedanta is to learn about Krishna, the thief. He's stealing the butter. He's going to steal the gopis' clothes. But by definition, God cannot be a thief because everything belongs to Him. If someone thinks, this is my wife, I'm very good, I follow moral principles, I have my wife. But Krishna is very immoral because he has so many girlfriends which he takes other people's wives. But no, if you want to get down to it, then you are immoral because you think it's your wife. But everyone and everything belongs to Krishna. And Krishna is not immoral because everything and everyone belongs to Him. If we think anything belongs to us, then we're thieves. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Manasa deho geho jo kichumo apilun tua pade nandikisho. My mind, my body, my home, I've offered everything to you, Nanda Kishore. Krishna. But actually the attitude in offering means there's another song in that Sharanagati series. I just can't remember now, but he says that I've given up the egoism of thinking anything is mine, because everything belongs to Krishna. So we're being trained to voluntarily relinquish everything that we think is ours. Krishna steals. What philosophy are we going to get out of this? Well, one thing is that Krishna demonstrates that everything belongs to me. If he steals, he doesn't steal, because everything belongs to him. And he shows that everything belongs to me. Therefore, in the Vedic culture, there is sacrifice, the process of sacrifice. Idam Narayanaya Namama. We offer everything. This is for Narayana, not for me. We do that in a sacrifice. That means we're thinking something is still for me. This is for you, this is for me. Just like some collectors, so I've heard in ISKCON. They collect, and this much I give for Krishna. I'm collecting it in the name of Krishna, but this much I give to Krishna. And Krishna likes his devotees, so to save him the trouble of arranging, giving something to me, I'll take it for myself, because I'm a good devotee. Ishtan Bhogan Hivo Deva. The demigods, they like to receive sacrifices. But if they think it's for me, then they're a thief. And if we think, I don't want to offer anything in sacrifice, then we become a thief. Dasyante yagya bhavitaha taryadatana pradayebhyo yobhunte stena evasaha. If we enjoy anything without offering it to God, then we become a thief. We're allowed, we have, Ishopanishad at the beginning allows, we can take something, our allotted amount, don't take more. Otherwise, we become a thief. So we have to offer whatever food we eat, that has to be offered to Krishna first. It's become almost normal in ISKCON nowadays to eat non-offered food. I was just reading a manuscript of an unpublished book about Vanaprastha life, in which the author was saying that, well, if you're in the habit of eating non-offered food, then when you become a Vanaprastha, then you should stop that. But what is this? It's not for renunciants, it's for everyone. It's a very serious thing. I sometimes think that we have so many problems in ISKCON stem from this, because Vishayer Anna Kaile Malin Hoimon, by eating the food of sense enjoyers, the mind becomes polluted. But that's a normal thing. That means the whole attitude is, this is something for me to enjoy. This chocolate eating, one of the great controversies in ISKCON. Chocolate, then why do we offer it to Krishna? We're so eager that Krishna will enjoy chocolate. No, it's we want to enjoy it. That's why we offer it. The attitude is there. Even the Christians, I don't know Protestants, but in the Catholic tradition in which I was raised, before you eat, Protestants do it also, at least some of them. They say what they call saying grace. You have to say a prayer before you take the food, and you thank God for providing you with all this nice beef and chicken and things to eat. Something's there. Some recognition. Some recognition is there. Here we find in the verse we read today, Krishna's stealing gives pleasure to his devotees. And everything Krishna does is for the pleasure of his devotees. As I find in the Vishnu Sahasranam commentary of Parashara Bhatta, he explains so many names in this way, that what Vishnu is doing is for protecting his devotees and maintaining them and nourishing them and giving them pleasure. They want Krishna to steal from them. They take pleasure in that. And we have the phenomenon of the naughty child who is loved for being naughty. That's mostly for boys. Naughty girls are not much appreciated. But from a young age, the girls, they start to be mothers. Just like I saw yesterday, there's one girl, she was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and her son is maybe 2 or 3 years old, and she's the little mother. It's a normal, natural thing. So they're like that. But boy, we so many times hear the mothers in Bengal complaining about their chele. Khub dushto. Dushto means he's very bad, very naughty. But it frustrates them, but at the same time, they like it. There's some pleasure there. I don't understand what it is, because I didn't do that in this lifetime. Didn't have that rasa in this lifetime. So, Krishna steals. He gives intelligence to the thieves to steal. Their stealing is not good. If you steal and you're caught, you'll get punished. The women of Vrindavan wanted that Krishna should be punished. But he would simply smile. And then they would not want him to be punished. Children are very crafty, are they not? They know, in a short time they learn how to manipulate the parents to get what they want. Krishna gives pleasure to the devotees. It's definitely a lot more relishable than discussing all the intricacies of various Vedantic abstrusities. That is also required. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given so many insights into the pastimes of Krishna, and they're much relished in the translations by devotees of ISKCON today. But he also commented so much philosophy. Okay, the whole Bhagavatam, it's not all Krishna's passing story. There's a lot. There's a lot in there. So much in there. It's almost too much. It's too much in the sense that I often think how Bhagavatam scholarship, there's so much to do. Srila Prabhupada started in his just at the dawn of old age, started his Bhagavatam commentary. What a huge undertaking. And he did so much, but Srila Prabhupada said every word can be discussed in so much detail. There's so much in Bhagavatam. Mapping it onto the Upanishads and the Shaddarshans. We don't know, we're reading a verse, we don't know that it's replying to or rebutting a common philosophical contention. There's so much in Bhagavatam. But the gopis of Vrindavan are not philosophers. They're simply enjoying Krishna's smiling. What is the word? Prahasita mukhi. They also become smiling by seeing Krishna smiling. The last name I spoke on in Vishnu Sahasranam was Pushpahasa. His flower smile. That's one. There's another name, Svasya, which the Acharyas unpacked to me. Beautiful face. Hare Krishna. What's the conclusion of this talk? Bring it to an end. Distribute sweets. Madhurena samapayet. All right, Hare Krishna. That's it. Oh, that's all for now. That's all I have to say. Hare Krishna. Any question, comment? Anything? Hare Krishna. All glories to passing stool in someone else's house. That's a funny thing to say. God's not what you think He should be. Whatever you think He is, He's something more, something different. He's unpredictable. You just don't know. You don't know what He's going to do with us also. We don't know. We're on a ride, and Krishna is driving us along. Driving along the chariot. Make Krishna our chariot driver. One thing for sure, we'll go through so many difficulties, but Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janadana. The Pandavas must be victorious because Krishna's on their side. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Parthatanadara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. If Dhritarashtra had any hope, Sanjay finished his narration of Bhagavad Gita saying, well, I think Krishna is the master of all yogic perfections, and Arjuna, the great bowman, and when those two are together, there's going to be opulence, victory, morality. I'm sure of it. And Dhritarashtra, yeah, you're going to say something? There's a mic. Yeah. Krishna steals our life away at any moment. Smaran nitya anityatam. Always remember. Always remember that there's no always. It's all going to come to an end. We're all going to have to die.
Bilvamangala Thakur says,
No other mic? Yeah, okay, I'll try and repeat it. Bilvamangal Thakur says,
Payasu Chaura, Paradara Chaura.
He's a milk product thief. He's a other's wife thief.
Stri Vastra Chaura, Stri Vastra Chaura.
Vastra, he's the stealer of women's clothes.
Sura Vriksha Chaura.
He goes to the heavenly planets and steals a tree.
Sangsara Chaura.
He takes away our material existence. Sangsara Chora.
Sakalati Chaura. Sakalati Chaura.
Sakaladi Chora. He's the thief of everything. Vallabhacharya has also his Choragraganya, what is that, Stuti or Dashakam?
Choragraganya Purushandamam.
Yeah, he again and again sings. I offer my respects to that greatest of thieves.
Yahapate Wamnadanita Chora. My dear lords of Lakshmi, you're not just a butterfly, you're all these other things also.
He's all round. But whatever it is, it's good.
My question is that if the devotees are pleased by Krishna's stealing or anything that Krishna does, then does that mean that Abhimanyu is very pleased when Krishna kidnaps his wife?
I don't know, and I don't care. He doesn't know. Krishna's so expert.
Actually, I've never seen any of our acharyas.
No, they're just like, they're not there. They're like shadow.
They don't even refer to him as Radharani's husband. They always call him Upapati.
Don't know, don't care. It's almost like they don't exist. Govardhan Malla. That's his other name, something like that. But they all have their role. Who is that? One Acharya says they all have their role. Jarati, Kutila. And we find when is that then? When Krishna is king, he's crowned king of Vrindavan, then they also come and they also accept. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, who's rolling in the pasturing grounds, playing with Krishna. That's what he wanted to do, right? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.